Welcome to Creepin' It Real. I am Judah. My friends, do I have a treat for you today? I struck gold over the weekend with the movie we are going to talk about today. I am so excited. But before we get into this, I want to ask you a question. When I say action hero, who pops into your head? Now, if you're my age, you're probably thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're probably thinking Sylvester Stallone. More current action heroes would be Dwayne Johnson. Keanu Reeves has clawed his way to the top with the John Wick series. But of course, we also have Tom Cruise, who has throughout his whole career dabbled in the action hero. But I want to bring to your attention the action hero we need but don't deserve. Let me introduce you to Steve Barkett. Look at this man. Look at that chiseled jaw. Look at those eyes that stare into your soul, revealing everything that's inside. That mustache that says, I don't F around. This is the action hero we need. And if you don't know who he is, then by golly, you are missing out. And I was missing out. He stars in what can only be described as treasures from heaven, known as Empire of the Dark, 1991. Guys, this is an action horror film that is horrible. And I enjoyed every moment of this movie. Let me just show you a quick clip of the action that you will experience. Watch when he jumps over the railing of the steps. When this happened, I knew, look at me, I knew I had struck gold with this scene. Now, there is a scene right before this that I will talk about later, but I just wanted to give you a little glimpse of the action that you can expect to see with Steve Barkett. And I am not, yes, I'm there is mockery in what I'm saying, but I want you to know that it is with so much love and respect for this man that I present this to you. If you are a B-movie fan, you must see this movie. The urgency that I implore you, call off from work. You have to see this movie. You must. You will be enriched by the story that you witness. All the vision of Steve, by the way. I'll get to that later, but let me show you this clip. Here we go. The acting skills. Oh my gosh. Watch this, watch it. Ugh! Was that not great? I love that he was like, I need to jump over this railing. I need to start the action off soon. This is something people would do. They would jump over this railing to skip those last 3 steps and then not land the jump. I love it. I love it because it's reality. If I was to try to do that, if my beloved Angela, I think that's what he was saying, was captured and was going to be sacrificed, darn it, I'd jump over the railing to skip those last 3 steps, and I would not land that jump either. I swear this movie is chock full of greatness like this. I don't know also if it is super self-aware or if this man was just so passionate about this movie that he tried to stitch up plot holes in a way that was just so absurd and fantastic. There is a point. My perception of this man, it was all over the place. It starts off, and I'm like, oh, this asshole's a player. I'm like, this guy, because this woman, Angela, calls him And he's like, I'm confused. You told me you never wanted to see me again. And she's like, I know, but I need your help. And he's like, okay, where are you? He's a cop, by the way, at this point. And she gives him an address and he goes, oh, isn't that your husband's address? And I was like, oh, this MFer was having an affair with this woman. So immediately I'm just like, I don't like this guy because I hate people that have affairs. It impacted me as a child. You know, my family may not appreciate this, but my mom had an affair, broke up the family. And so that impacts me. When I see that kind of stuff on movies, I immediately dislike people engaging in affairs. Let's get past that. My apologies. Life is difficult. Okay. Let's just move on past that. Let's get back to this golden nugget that I found over the weekend. I could not find a great trailer, but it'll give you some kind of glimpse into the glory of this movie. But you need to watch this movie. My gosh, unless you're a super snob who has to have all your horror, be the best, then this is not for you. But for those B movie lovers out there, oh my gosh, you have to engage with me. You have to leave a comment. You have to let me know what you think about this movie. I'm going to have to go on a crusade to get people to watch this. When I went to IMDb, another sad thing is I loved this movie so much that I was thrilled today when I came to the office. I was like, oh, I can't wait to dig into the behind the scenes. Wikipedia has nothing. I mean, there's something there, but it's minimal information and nothing fun. And then I was like, okay, let's go to IMDb and see what kind of trivia they show. Nothing. And in fact, only 8 people have reviewed this on IMDb. And it has a 4.6 average, but literally, most of the people who review this movie give it an 8 out of 10. Okay. On the level of just a movie in of itself, just a horror movie, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. But once you start digging into it, the absurdity, the earnestness, the heart and soul that was put into this horrible movie, and my enjoyment level, there was puppets. There was stop motion animation. Man, there was forced perspective. There were sets. There were miniatures. This movie had it all. I'm going to give this, for my personal enjoyment of B movies, I would give it an 8 out of 10. But when presenting it as just art, as far as a movie goes, if we are going to try to sell this to the rest of the world, then I have to give an honest opinion of normies that may not love bad movies. This has to be a 4 out of 10. And it hurts me to say that because I enjoyed this movie so very much. But let's get to this trailer.
Richard! Help me! Angela, where are you?
Yeah, see, I love these set pieces. Are just amazing to me. This scene right here, for sure, took forever. She's screaming for this guy to come save her. And I don't know how many times we see this cultist lift up his knife to stab her, but it takes him like 8 minutes to actually do it. And we watch him raise his knife at least 20 times. And I'm like, what's he doing? Is he like measuring? And he's like, I'm off the mark a little bit. Let's restart this. I may be sacrificing her, but I want to make sure that I hit her in the right spot. I don't want her to suffer. That's where I'm going. He was at least a conscientious cultist who didn't want this woman to have to suffer. He has to do what he has to do, but why make this worse than what it needs to be. Maybe that's what it was. But I swear, he raised and lowered his dagger so many times. And every time she screams for this guy to come save her, it's like it wakes him out of a trance, this cultist. And then he's like, oh, that's right. I was about to murder her. I got to raise my knife again. And then he goes into some stupor again. I don't know. It's quite possible, had she not called out, that the cultist would have forgot what he was doing completely. That's my personal opinion. You'll have to watch it yourself.
Where'd you get this photo?
I took it myself. Right here in Lava Springs.
Right here in Lava Springs.
2 weeks ago.
She's not dead. She is in the antechamber.
And where is this place?
This guy. Steve, I love you. Here's the reality. When I was done watching this movie, I was so pleased by the earnestness of this man. Let's not get things wrong. And I've already said I love this movie and I love the heart that Steve put into this. I am by no means feel that I am an attractive man. Even though I'm not a dad, I've got the dad bod of the century, the gut, zero muscles. I got the forehead that's encroaching to the back of my neck. Okay, I am not an action hero. I cannot act for anything. I cannot attract women to me, even if I tried, which I don't. I've given up. I've failed enough that I know that this is something I should not embarrass myself with. But when I was done with this movie, I was like, I have got to contact Steve Barkett, and I have got to talk to him. I mean, I literally, when this movie ended, I was like, I have to find a way to talk to this man. You will be sad to know that Steve passed away back in 2023 at the age of 75. I was so bummed because I was so pumped. I was like, I have to speak to this man. This movie gave me so much joy. I had to speak to him. I had to know where his mind was. I wanted to know what he hoped to gain from this. I wanted to know how serious he was about this movie. I was crushed when I found out that Steve had passed away. That's how life is. And it sucks. But let's get back to this trailer.
Where the sacrifice is to be performed.
What sacrifice?
The sacrifice that you interrupted so many years ago, Mr. Flynn.
I must warn you about something. You have to go now. He's coming.
I don't understand.
That was it. It was a very lame trailer. And it does not even dip into the demon Jawas that this man has to fight. You don't get to see the massive T-Rex size demon that he has to fight. It is so glorious. The absurdity of this movie. And I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep going over and over again, saying the same things. I cannot tell you how much I love this movie, and it was so bad that I can nitpick. Every scene can be torn apart. But I loved it because of the heart and the earnestness. Oh my gosh, it is so great. I got to share with you another scene from this movie. I want you to pay attention to where our boy Steve is shooting. Okay, he gets a call from his love interest. It says, come meet me at this warehouse. I need your help. He's made his way there. Here we go. He walks in. He's whistling. I forgot about that. She calls him clearly in a panic and in a hushed tone, like I can't let them hear me. I need your help right now kind of way. Okay? Obviously in danger. This guy shows up What's he do? He walks in freaking whistling. As much as I love this movie, that was a bad choice. Steve, what made you think that was a good choice? You tried to cover up some plot holes. You try to call out some things in this movie that I love you for doing. And yet you did the let's walk into this dangerous situation whistling. Let's let everybody know that I'm here. Mr. Whistles. Hello, I'm Officer Whistles. I heard there was some trouble going on. Let me twirl my little baton. Look at me. Oh, gosh, the gap above that door.
Angela!
Richard, help me!
Watch this. Keep an eye. Keep an eye. Guys, how did he hit that dude? Who was he shooting at? And did it ricochet? Did I miss something here? Because who did he shoot? Who the heck did he shoot? Okay, you see the guy back here. Here's the guy. Here's the gun. Here's the gun. Let's watch this one more time. What the? Who did he shoot? I got to start all the way back here because I didn't properly set you up. Where would this happened before he jumps on the steps? Who was he aiming at? Somebody please help me understand this. That bullet was nowhere near that guy, and he still fell over dead. It was absurd. Okay, so he is a cop right now. He's going to try to save this woman when he finally makes it to her through these cavernous, like lava-filled. Maybe we're supposed to believe that they're in hell. I don't know, but there's a lot of caves. There's bridges that are falling apart. It's so fun. It's so fun. He finally sees across this chasm or chasm. What is it? Is it chasm or chasm? Somebody let me know in the comments below. Anyway, he sees them from afar, and there's a gap, and there's lava, and the lady's screaming. Okay, this is. Oh, I just remembered this. This is so great. She's screaming, "Save my baby!" Because it's not just her. Her baby is on this altar as well. And we got two guys, one who's going to stab her, the other guy's going to stab the baby. And she's screaming, "Save my baby, save my baby." And he yells, just so she knows, "I've only got one bullet." So that her and everybody else knows just that now's the time to come for him because he has no more ammunition. And she's screaming still, "Save my baby." And he's torn because he loves this woman. And you can see, because his acting skills, this man's got chops. You can see in him the struggle. I love this woman and I want to save her so that I can continue to be with her. But I also love her, and therefore I want to honor her wishes. And she's asking me to save her baby. In the struggle, you see the struggle. And once again, for the 78th time, these cultists raise their daggers. But this time, they may actually stab somebody. So, he finally shoots. We don't really know. Who's he saving? He saves the baby, and his love gets stabbed. Then he goes over and he kills these cultists. And he gets out with the baby just in time. Like action heroes do. Steve, you are missed. I wish we could have gotten more movies with this character. Seriously, it's a bummer. I enjoyed it so much. So, there you have it. I don't even know where I was going with this. He saves this baby. You learn that he did not actually stop the cultists, that they were resurrected, that they're very difficult cultists to kill, that the demonic forces raise them from the dead, unless they're killed with blessed steel. Now, this brings in something that I appreciate and yet at the same time die laughing at. All these cultists who look like murderous Jawas, most of them anyway, are using broadswords. And towards the beginning of the movie, he starts taking broadsword lessons. It comes out of nowhere. It's so just like, wait, what? Why are you taking broadsword lessons? It's just really weird. Later on in the movie, he's talking to a friend and he's telling him about these visions. And he's like, about 4 years ago, I just had this urge that I needed to start taking broadsword lessons. And he's like, in all these visions, these people have broadswords. Don't you find that convenient? And I was like, yes, Steve, I do. And I appreciate you addressing this in such an absurd way, but I will give you props for actually addressing it. And again, I don't know if this is self-awareness, like he knows that it's silly, or if he's legitimately trying to make this a serious movie. I don't know. I am so annoyed I can't talk to Steve. There are other instances. He keeps fighting these evil Jawas. I mean, these things just spawn out of nowhere. There's a never-ending supply of these Jawa cultists. Sometimes they look like humans and other times they look like demons. I'm not really sure. There must have been a mix of them or something. But at one point, he kicks one off of this cliff. And they show it, and when it crashes on the ground, I died laughing so hard. The mannequin that they obviously threw, because they're not throwing real people, when it crashes, its arm is stuck straight up in the air. It was so funny because we all know, even though most of us has never actually seen somebody plummet to their death like that, we all kind of know that we don't die like in the cartoons where your legs and arms just stick straight out. That isn't an indicator of death, but it is in this movie. I'm going to see if I can try to find that and show it to you because it was just such a golden moment to me. Look at that. Look at that arm. Look at that arm. Oh my gosh, that is so great. I love how that arm is just... Yep, that's not a dummy. That was a real person who just plummeted to their death. There's also a scene where our hero, Steve, is wearing a bathrobe. He's chilling out by the river. He had just got done practicing his broadsword, and he has his bathrobe on, chilling in a lawn chair by the river. And then he starts seeing them evil Jawas creeping out of the forest, going towards his cabin, where, I'm not going to give spoilers, there are some people in this cabin, okay? What does our hero, Steve, do? He pulls the hood up from his bathrobe and blends in with the murderous Jawas. None of these Jawas... Not a single one of them did they question, why does he get the cool racing stripes on his sleeves when all of us just get these boring, plain brown robes? What's so special about this guy with the racing stripes? Not a single Jawa asked this question, and it kind of bothered me. But at the same time, it was so absurd, I just went with it. The movie is filled with fantastic things like this. Let me check in IMDb. I kind of gave you some of what I found there. Again, it's got a 4.9 out of the 8 people that reviewed it. But there are a ton of the 8 people, a majority of them gave it an 8 out of 10. Here we go. Let's talk. Let's give this one from Jello Puke. They reviewed this back in June 29th, 2018. A totally insane vanity project that's so earnest you can't help but give the dude a mad props for the valiant attempt. Sure, he failed at almost every level, but it's such a spectacular failure that it transcends movie making into something new, totally worth watching. I agree. We'll read one more from Biological Self-Destruction 69722. Had a lot of fun with this. They used the type of dummies like on later seasons of Married with Children. I'm not sure where this is going, but I did just show you that. My brother watched with me, and we had to pause and rewind due to missing parts from laughing so hard. I teared up and will probably be sore tomorrow. The early parts with the ninja Jawas, it's okay, I'm not the only one, were so funny. I'm posting before even finishing the movie. It has been a rough week, and this movie absolutely gave us some much needed time laughing and forgetting the troubles of the world. For reference, for me, it seemed kind of like a better version of Samurai Cop. I don't know. I recommend the riff track version. Thank you so much for this film. It was perfect therapy for us. A Biological Self-Destruction -69722 left this review on June 12th, 2025. So just a few months ago, they watched it for the first time. I am glad to be in the ranks of people who love Empire of the Dark from 1991. This movie is treasure for me. In fact, I think I may do a search online and try to get a t-shirt to sport my support of this movie. I am so bummed that Steve is passed. I would have loved to spoken to him about this. So bad. But let me tell you, he's in a lot of other cringy movies out there. I looked at his list of movies, and there's some good ones in there, like Dinosaur Island, which is basically just boobs and dinosaurs. So I can't say he has a lot of top-notch movies under his belt, but this one was good. And there were several women dressed in lingerie, but there was no nudity in this movie. So there's that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it when movies don't feel like they have to force nudity into it. There you have it. That was Empire of the Dark. On a scale of all movies versus movies, this has to get a 4 out of 10. On its own merit, my enjoyment level, 8 out of 10. Please, if you love this movie, reach out to me. Leave your comment so we can bond over this. If you hated this movie, please leave your comments and mock me for my joy in this movie. I will find pleasure in reading those kind of comments about this is dog trash and you're stupid for liking it. Bring them on. I want to hear that kind of stuff. I find it entertaining. If you have any suggestions for movies I should check out, please leave them in the comments below. I am Judah. This has been Creepin' It Real, and I'll see you later.